Yes, guys, hello and welcome to another Spurs-related transfer update video. Hope you're all doing very well. And today we're bringing you updates on 3 or 4 different topics. Micky van der Ven, Radu Dragusin, Sergio Reguilon, and potentially a new link that's been a link before, so it's not too new. But today, I'm joined alongside Jack of SpursRelated, all the way from Wacko Jacko land on his Wacko Jacko walks. Jack, hopefully the people have been enjoying the series. It looks like it in the comments, but you have been doing daily uploads for those that may have not seen it. Do you want to quickly talk about that?
Definitely. So we started a new little series. It's been in the works for a while, James, hasn't it? I kind of pitched it to you and I said, I feel like a walking and talking with Jacko series could do quite well. Who doesn't love a bit of fresh air? Helps me structure my thoughts. And we get to talk about Tottenham and the Premier League. So come join me on the walks. And yeah, it's been a daily upload thing. Today, it was quite windy outside as well, so it was hard to record. So we kind of transitioned to a sit down talk with Jack and James today, but I'm sure it'll be just as good.
Absolutely, Jack. We'll run through this in 10, 15 minutes or so. But guys, if you do enjoy these transfer update videos, please smash the thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. And also, one thing that I would like to say is put the notification bells on, please, if you could, because you never miss an upload. And Jack, like I said, he's uploading every single day. So you'll know exactly when that video drops if you have the post notice on. So it's all free to do. So like, subscribe, and post notice would be greatly appreciated. But Jack, let's get straight into things. Let's talk about the updates. So I thought it'd be good to start on Micky van der Ven, if you agree. Micky van der Ven is back in training after being out for several weeks with the hamstring injury, and he could actually be involved in tomorrow's matchday squad chat. Is that right?
Huge news, James. Yeah, in Ange's press conference today, he mentioned that Micky van der Ven may be fit and available to be in the matchday squad, and that is fantastic signs. When realistically, the main game we want him back for, of course, is tomorrow if available. But we probably didn't expect him to be back. If he's ready, fit, and raring to go for the Manchester United game, James, that's such a huge boost for the second half of this season. And having him back in the side, I think, will just give everyone a huge lift, just like it did when Bentancur come back into the lineup.
Yep, 100%. And obviously, that was a surprise. Bentancur being back in the lineup on Sunday against Bournemouth. And the other piece of news on that today, released, I believe, by Alistair Gold or other Tottenham correspondents, is that Maddison is not yet back in training, but he's working with the sports physio team. So potentially, we could have Maddison back in the next couple of weeks, do you think?
I hope so. I think James Maddison, realistically, he's the creator in this Tottenham team. He's probably our kind of main character boy before we've had obviously Harry Kane and we've got Son now. But James Maddison's really come into Tottenham, took on this leadership role, and he's the one everyone looks to for that bit of quality. And I think adding him into the midfield, maybe alongside Bentancur, Kulusevski, would just change our season dramatically. And I think we could be looking at the Tottenham that we saw at the start of the season, just opening defences like it's nothing. So it'd be great to have him back for Man United. But if he's back for Brentford and he's fit and raring to go, we don't want to rush him back.
Yeah, absolutely. And he saw James Maddison at the darts final last night, Luke Humphries versus Luke Littler. He was in the crowd, and there were fans there saw him at the Ali Pally and started singing Tottenham Get Battered. And James Maddison's response was to hold up one of the cards you get at the darts, saying, and he wrote on it, North London is white. So I thought that was hilarious. And good banter from him. You know, you don't expect anything less from him. He gets involved with all the fun and games there as well. So you know, worth mentioning that. Great. So we talked about Van der Ven. We talked about James Maddison, breaking things down. Jack, do you want to take away the next bit of news?
Yeah, I reckon we should dive straight into the hot topic that James has been very continuous over the past couple of days, but it's important to keep these daily updates going. So, of course, it's about Radu Dragusin, Paul O'Keefe today on Twitter, who, in my opinion, is definitely becoming a more reliable source each time we talk about him. Fabrizio Romano even quoted him today in one of his recent tweets, and he said that Tottenham fans basically calm down. We're finalising the structure of the deal and the actual price itself. Fabrizio Romano has reported that they want around 30 million euros, and we're looking to pay about 24 to 25. We'd like to think there's a median there, James, that we can reach in the middle, and the structure of the deal, we can sort something out that benefits both teams. But with Spurs, we know it sometimes takes longer than we want. But I've got to be honest, James, I'm quite confident that we'll get this player through the door. What do you reckon?
I'm very confident we're getting through the door. Reason being, Fabrizio Romano keeps updating us on this every day, sometimes with not too much more information, but sometimes with a little bit more information. But also his pinned tweet on Twitter, he's replied to a few comments from Spurs fans, and he said it's my pinned tweet for a reason. It's on my pinned post because he's expecting it to be done. There's not often Fabrizio Romano puts a pinned tweet in if it's not going to go through. So, take that how you want, but I would expect this to get done. And like you said, on the fee, looks like we're, playing hardball on a few million. Is that the right decision? I don't know if there's any other teams going in for Dragusin at the moment. Maybe some other teams will go
And not
in.
only that, what I would ask is, do you think now he's kind of getting the coverage maybe Dragusin didn't get before? We know a lot of teams really know that Tottenham have had a good scouting team in the last couple of years. Do you think the agent and the club are trying to drive up the price? Because in my opinion, when clubs like Genoa, who aren't as financial as Tottenham, don't have that financial muscle and power, they're going to try and get as much money as they can. And Radu Dragusin is probably one of their star players. I think they've got Goodmanson up front as well. But he's really there where their main money's going to come from. So in my opinion, it's probably the agent doing a bit of dirty work, trying to get a bit of extra money for himself. And obviously that's going to benefit Genoa.
Yeah, like you said, there'll probably be a bit of middle ground. If we're offering 24, is this million euros, right?
I'm pretty sure it's euros, yes.
30 million euros, if that's the asking price, could see it maybe settling at 27, 28, but let's see. But guys, little question for you halfway through the video. Are you looking forward to Radu Dragusin? Do you think he'll be a good addition? Let us know in the comments below. But I also want to hear in the comments about this next talking point, which is about Jota. Jota of Al Ittihad in the Saudi League. Jack, we have been linked with this guy on and off. It seems to have surfaced again in the last few days. I believe it was Matt Law who said if Tottenham are to sign a winger, the most likely option would be Jota on a free transfer or a loan. Jack, do you want to take us through this bit and maybe tell the Spurs-related balls that may not know too much about this guy? Do you think he'd be a good signing, and what's his key attributes?
Definitely. So Jota played very well under Postecoglou at Celtic, and at the start of the season, I think a lot of Tottenham fans were really keen for this signing to go through, as it was someone Ange knew very well. It kind of meant a natural transition under him, and he's kind of a very fast, pacey winger that performed quite well in Celtic. And I feel like he was someone that Ange really adored his time there. He was one of the main players that he called upon when he needed an important goal. Very direct. And I just feel like I said, it would have been a natural transition for him to bring him in. I'm not sure if James has got some stats up there, but I should have done more research. But it was kind of one where we wanted to get hot off the press, talk about Jota. And I think it's kind of a smart signing, James. We're talking about maybe someone being brought in for free. It's kind of similar to the Solomon deal, where you feel like they've got a lot of potential, they can improve, they could hold their value, and he's kind of that natural transition at the same time.
No, completely agree. So I haven't watched much of him in the Saudi League, I'll be honest, but when he was playing for Celtic, he looks like a tricky winger. He looks like he can probably play off either side as well, which is good for an Ange Postecoglou system, being versatile. And of course, it doesn't seem like he's settled very well at Al Ittihad, which of course was previously managed by Nuno Espirito Santo, but obviously now he got sacked from there, and now he's gone to Nottingham Forest, as we know. But Jack, just quickly on Jota, what would you maybe expect? I'm putting you on the spot here, but what would you maybe expect his price range to be? I know you said about a free, but
sure.
But to explain it to the fans, how much do you think his market value is? I'm guessing his contract's nearly up, so there's that.
Yeah, so he was brought to Saudi Arabia, I actually think, for a fee of around 40 million euros, something around that. Yeah. So it was quite a lot of money, realistically, for someone who's going to be a free straight away. it's crazy to see it like that. But I'm pretty sure his time in Saudi Arabia has not been good at all. He didn't get on with Nuno Espirito Santo. I think he's hardly been playing, and he's just out of favour, really, which is crazy for someone performing very well in the Champions League in Europe, and also one of the best players in the Scottish League. You'd think that, of course, he's going to excel in Saudi Arabia. They're not quite as developed as the other leagues, but it seems just to be the manager doesn't get along with Jota. He's not enjoying his time there, and he's looking for the quickest escape route out. And maybe Al Ittihad are willing to part ways with him, and someone could get a steal maybe on a free or a loan. So it's very interesting to see. Let us know in the comments if you'd like Jota. For me, it could be quite a smart signing, but at the same time, do I think having a player that has been in Saudi Arabia and not been playing much football, probably not keeping himself as fit as other teams in the top 5 European leagues, do we need to go back? Does Ange need to get one of his old players? Potentially not. There's a lot of good wingers around Europe, and if like Bakayoko, there's a couple of good players in the Championship playing really well right now. So do we need to spend? Are there better signings we can make? For me, there probably is, but then again, if we bring him in on a free or a low transfer fee, then I'm not totally against it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like you said, if we can get it for next to nothing and he's going to add to our squad there, fantastic. He may not be a starter, but let's see. It'll be interesting to see what other attacking options do come through in the next few days. But one more talking point today is Sergio Reguilon. This one, Jack, you've discussed on your walks a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it looks like, well, he's the club have confirmed today that he's back at Tottenham. Manchester United have returned him early from the season-long loan. There's a couple of different reasons for that, including the fact that Luke Shaw is back and they've got Diego Dalot as well. So Reguilon then falls into 3. And I think also Malacia, so that Reguilon's like 3rd or 4th choice. They've returned him. Clearly works financially for Man United, who have been a bit restricted on money as well in terms of spending for the last couple of years. Jack, you wanted to talk about, can Sergio Reguilon play as an inverted fullback in an Ange system?
Yeah, just thought it was an important question really to ask the Spurs relatables and us two to have our opinions on it. And I think from the little time we had of Reguilon, well, we say little time, we had quite a sample size. He had a fantastic first season at Spurs, I think, under Jose Mourinho. At that time, James, if you remember, we were actually very worried that Real Madrid were going to activate a buyback clause because he was playing that well. Turns out things didn't carry on the way we thought they would. And in my opinion, Reguilon just massively decreased his level, and he kind of proved that he's probably not improving as much as this Spurs team are. And under Ange Postecoglou, I don't think he suits his style of football, which is my question. And I don't think he has the ability to play through the middle with Destiny Udogie. We know he likes to make late runs into the box. He's not afraid to get into the box and try and get a goal, make that late surging run. We know with Udogie, he's extremely fast, he's powerful, he's got the recovery speed to defend well. I think he's very competent defensively. I've been extremely impressed with him. And he's also got quite close control and is a good passer of the ball. With Reguilon, when he's kind of surrounded and people put pressure on him, I don't think he has the ability to invert. I think he needs space out wide to put those crosses in. I don't think he's very technically gifted, so you can see he needs lots of space to put balls in. I don't think his close control is great. So for me, he doesn't have the ability to play in the middle when you need good close control. You need to be able to burst through the middle, and you've got to be confident at shooting. And we all saw when Harry Kane played those fantastic balls through to Reguilon on multiple occasions, he really was not very composed in front of goal. And obviously, he's not always going to have chances to shoot, but he's going to have a lot of space in the middle, and I just don't think that suits him. So I wish him all the best, but I could see him maybe moving out to the German league under Borussia Dortmund, or maybe playing in just a solid back four where he can get up the wings. But I don't think he's a Postecoglou type of profile player, James.
Completely agree. You sort of stole the words out of my mouth at the end. If you weren't going to mention about his finishing, I was going to come in there about that. I remember very well, I've mentioned it a few times, being in it in an away, and I think it was Brighton away, and he was through on goal twice, like one-on-one situations, and both were at the keeper, or both one went wide, I think, and one went at the keeper. And I just stood there and thought to myself, when you link it back, like you said, Udogie gets a lot of space going forward in the middle, but also he gets on the end of some 1-2s with Sonny. He ends up being there, doesn't he? He's got a couple of goals. He got a goal against Newcastle, didn't he, Udogie? And he got a goal previously as well. I can't remember if it's preseason or another Premier League game, but with this inverted fullback system, you're going to get chance as a fullback. We've seen Porro score goals. We've seen Udogie score goals. Reguilon, when he gets that chance in front of goal, doesn't quite have the composure or the finishing ability. And I think that is, for me, out of anything, like you said, composure is one thing, being in the middle of the park. But I think, like you said also, him being on that wing and putting in crosses is his strength. But in an inverted fullback situation, that's not always where he's going to end up. So I think you're right, without completely just regurgitating what you're saying. I think you're spot on. I don't think Sergio Reguilon works in this system. However, Jack, one more thing.
Sure.
Sessegnon potentially returning, talking about left backs. Do you think he could?
It's a very good question, actually, and I'm definitely keen to talk about Sessegnon because he was a player that had so much potential coming into Tottenham. He was kind of one of the star boys, and the reason why we signed him over the likes of Manchester United, I think Liverpool, lots of top Premier League clubs were in for him, was because we just come off the back of the Champions League final. It looked like our trajectory was going to carry on going up, and it looked like Tottenham and Sessegnon were a great fit. However, we moved to a back five, we moved to negative football, and that just didn't suit Ryan Sessegnon. He had a lot of bad runs of injuries. I think he's had a few hamstring tears. And the only game I can remember really where Sessegnon impressed me was when he scored against Bayern Munich when away, and I think we lost 2-1 in the end after we went 1-0 up. But it just hasn't looked like the same player that he was at Fulham. Sessegnon, the Sessegnon we knew, the Sessegnon we signed, was someone who was not afraid to take on a man. First time shots, very confident, very happy with his own ability. He knew he could kind of take on any fullback, but defensively he was quite astute as well, always helping back, could have played left back, could play left wing. And the Ryan Sessegnon we signed then just hasn't come to Tottenham Hotspur yet, which is a great shame. But could that change in a left-back role under Ange? I feel like it's definitely the best manager for him. I think his main strengths are driving with the ball when he's at his best. He's got quite good close control. And defensively, he has the ability to be astute. He's very big. He's a strong lad. He's powerful. So for me, he deserves a good, maybe a season under Ange to see how he progresses because he's still only young.
I agree. I completely agree. And also, don't forget, when he was at Fulham, he was scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And that in turn goes with the fact he's going to be in front of goal in an inverted formation. But of course, Udogie would be our starter. But you never know with all these injuries, not to curse anything, we may need Sessegnon. But guys, that is all we have time for. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little transfer update and I guess debates at the end. Let us know what you think. Do you think Ryan Sessegnon could become an inverted fullback under Ange? Are you happy to see Micky van der Ven back? Stupid question. Of course we all are. But also let me know what you think about Radu Dragusin and of course about Reguilon as we discussed, as well as Jota. So let us know in the comments below, guys. Smash the thumbs up, please. Let's see if we can get 50 likes. The sport's been great recently. Over 2.5k now, pushing for 5k. Jack, we'll be back, hopefully, if the weather is good, for another Walking and Talking tomorrow. Jack, thanks for joining me, as always. And, of course, guys, you know the score. Remember, come on, you Spurs!